Good morning, beloved. I bet you ain't think you was gonna see me this soon, did you? I know you didn't, but it's cool because I'm her. I'm her because I got a message for you. Of course, why else? All right. So, if you don't already know, it is your sister, auntie, cousin, best friend, Jen from the Crystal Maven. All right. So, this morning, I was pulling cards for the collective as I do every day. I pull cards for myself and then I also pull cards for the collective. Once again, like I said, I don't always post it because you really don't need an in-depth card reading every day. Maybe 2 cards, 3 cards, you're good. But intensive, in-depth, not every day, right? Okay, so I'm pulling the cards, and once again, always proud of y'all, as I always say. But I'm starting to notice a recurring theme that's happening for at least the last week or so. And I know exactly why it's happening. Because holiday season is coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up. Christmas is coming up. A lot of people is dealing with the family issues, okay? The generational curses, grandma, grandpa, aunties, and them, all right? No, nobody really feel like dealing with it or have the time. Y'all, stop avoiding your family, okay? Stop it, stop it, stop it, all right? Now, you don't have to avoid your family, and your family 100% most definitely does love you, okay? We have to inhale, exhale. Understand, people can only meet us to the depth at which they have met themselves. And we also have to think about and take into account that older generations in our lives, they really didn't have the grace, I want to call it grace, that we have to be able to focus so much on our spiritual development. Y'all, think about how old great grandma, grandma, and even mom is, and think about the time frames, okay, and the decades in which they lived, okay? Now, they were alive during the Industrial Revolution. Okay, they were alive during world wars. Okay, so think about these things. You know what I'm saying? When, we decide not to deal with, our family member because, they act this way, they talk to me this way, they act that. They're only doing it because that's what they know. All right, and some of them is too old and set in their ways to be trying to figure out how to, clear and align their root chakra. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, okay? What they trying to hear is what is you doing to make sure that you is out here with good credit and raising you some churns, okay? I know it's sad, but it's true, but it's all good because, like I said, I pulled some cards. All right, and I did it in depth today, y'all. So that's the reason why I had to do this video, because I'm like, look at my people's trying the best to do what they do. You see what I'm saying? But boom, the first card I pulled, you gotta get this light right. The perspective card, okay? Second card I pulled, boom, the vulnerability card. Third card I pulled, boom, the shape-shifting card. And then the generational card came forth. All right, so to round that top row out, like I said, intensive, okay? We have radiance, all right? So we out here, we doing what it is that we got to do. We're opening up that perspective. We're facilitating our healing. We are. I'm going to go ahead and put that on you, okay? You're taking responsibility for your healing, okay? You're out here facilitating your own healing. You're going to the places that need to be gone to. You are putting that vulnerability to work with spirit, and you're saying, okay, spirit, show me what it is that I need to heal so that I can go ahead and get this shape-shifting underway. And you're doing it. Most definitely, you are doing it. It's not something that you're working on. It's not something that you need to do. It's something that you smack in the middle of. Okay, so when it comes to the generational, the generationals and your ancestors, boom, the card that comes after that is the radiance card. All right, and check out the card that comes after that. Okay, so the situations and problems that we have with our ancestors, and ancestors are those who come before and after us. Your children are considered ancestors also. Did you know that? Okay, so this is your family line, your lineage, and also people who are as close to you and your family as family members, okay? Just like with the DNA card. Boom, radiance. All right, so this means that the issues that are going on here, because this perspective, because this perspective has been blown wide open, and we're like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on all up in here. Okay, that has shined light on these issues. Okay, now y'all know where we going with the volatility card. Y'all know where we going. Well, we go pause on that for a second. Boom. Next card after volatility is breath. Okay, the breach card. Activation and grounding. Beloved, yes. Yes, okay? And this is why, all right? This is why we want to do this. We want to go there. I know the immediate instinct is to lean away from it. Oh, this conversation seems to be getting ready to start an issue. Lean back. I don't like the way this conversation is making me feel. Lean back, withdraw. Okay, I feel you, and I am not saying to put yourself in a situation or a conversation that you are uncomfortable with. In no way, shape, form, or fashion am I saying that. However, we have the volatility card here. And then directly after that, we have the breath card. Okay, now, if you have not, and I'm going to keep saying it because this message came through so strong for me on all 3 stacks, okay, of the pick a stack reading. If you have not, make sure that you watch it, because some of you need to hear a specific message from a specific stack that I am not going to name, because I am not trying to sway you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I just want you to get your message, okay? Now, we all know how it is. It's that pressure. It's that pressure. It's building up. It's building up. It's building up. All that energy, boom, it has to come out. Okay. Now, we look at volatility as a bad thing when it's in, I was about to say conjunction, when it has to deal with us dealing with other people. When it has to deal with our emotions, when it has to do with us dealing with other people, because volcanoes are volatile. Okay. Think about how we relate to the word volatile. We almost relate it to violence. Pretty much. Okay. All right. Now, the second card that comes after that is breath. Now, remember, okay, I always like to, refer the volatility card to the Hawaiian Islands. The Hawaiian Islands are fucking beautiful. Okay. But they have an active volcano on them. As a matter of fact, they have a couple of them. Okay, a couple of active volcanoes on the motherfuckers, and they blow up and they create new land. They expand the islands. Okay, they expand the islands. All right, I understand that so many of us have issues with confrontation, and then not only issues with confrontation, but issues with confrontation on top of it being someone that is a senior family member in your life. What? It's just like, Jen, thank you very much for the advice. I appreciate it, but we're not doing this. I got you. I 100% understand. All I'm doing is telling you what could happen if you decided to open that door to your healing. Because a lot of times, the only reason that we don't do these things is because we don't want to deal with the consequences or the repercussions of what happens after it. Now, most of us are adults, okay? And, it's like consequences, repercussions. I ain't finna get no whooping. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But we just don't feel like dealing with it. We don't feel like hearing all of this. We don't feel like hearing how the story then got misconstrued the 8th time by the time your second cousin done heard it. And now everybody looking at you like, oh, you ain't even had to come off like that, when they won't even there and don't even know what happened. I know how family works. Okay. All right. But once again, that volatility card, that energy comes up, it comes out. We relay what it is that we need to say. We get our feelings out on the table, okay? We substantiate that root chakra, and we open up the throat chakra, okay? So that we are safe in what it is that we are communicating. The heart chakra is open, so we are speaking from a place of love, not a place of, okay? Boom. The breath card comes directly after that. The breath card comes directly after that. You know how it is. You know how it is when you finally say something to that person or that loved one or that friend where you've been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and it's been building up on you. And by the time you send that text message or you say what it is that you got to say, whether it went good or bad, it's like, whew, okay, I got it. It's off of me. And that's what you need, beloved. You need to get it off of you. Okay. Now, do you need to pass this toxicity that you've been carrying on to the next person? Like, here, you the one that started it. Take it on with you. No, you do not. And we're going to move on. All right. Boom. Breach. Next card, activation. Next card, grounding. Okay. Beloved, I am telling you, you get stable in that root chakra. You make sure that we're coming from the heart chakra directly up into the throat, projecting out. Okay. Now, this is going to breach you up out of that. Okay. It's going to breach you up out of that. I honestly, truly feel like that the retrograde, which is over tomorrow, which also happens to be the first day of Sagittarius season. Don't get me started, because you know we'll be sitting here talking forever. All right. So it's going to breach you up out of that glass ceiling. Okay. It's going to breach you up out of that glass ceiling. All right. The retrograde has done a lot of work and healing in you, which is why the first cards were perspective, vulnerability, and shape-shifting, because you took advantage of the retrograde. Now, whether you let the retrograde kick your ass or you decided to participate and, take some responsibility for your own healing, it doesn't matter. Either way, it worked. Whether you did it on your face in the pillow, or whether you was just like, all right, come on, what we doing today? Let's get it. Either way, it doesn't matter. It happened, okay? It happened and you are good, all right? So now, boom. I feel like the work that we have been doing has gotten us to this point where we can breach that glass ceiling, okay? And we can activate the grounding, okay? Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that and let you know what that means. Okay, so we have this energy, all right? We have this energy. It comes up as volatility, all right? So it comes up, it comes out. You know how it is. The lava goes out, it goes down into the ocean. Talk about the Hawaiian Islands. It creates more land for you to walk out on and to breathe in, and to breathe, to get some space, to get some, okay? All right, now, boom, we are breaching those old habits, that old stale energy, that exact energy that needed to come up and out. And it had to be moved. It had to have friction. It had to have friction for it to be able to move, because that's how stuck and stagnant and how long you've been holding on to it. Okay. All right. So boom, we get to break that glass ceiling. We break that glass ceiling of our healing. So much of our healing is compacted into childhood and young adult trapped energies. Okay. And that's everybody, because that's where we pick it up from. That's how we pick up our programming. Okay. So this is why I'm saying there's no need to blame grandma, grandpa, aunties, uncles. We can only meet people at where we are. And then, beloved, I just want to remind you that grandma, grandpa, aunties, and uncles was raised by somebody else too. Okay? We always want to point the finger and say they did this to me, but nobody ever takes the time to say, well, what was done to them? Nobody takes the time to look a little bit past that. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, boom. As for the activation and the grounding. All right. This is going to activate you being able to ground that energy out of your body. You're going to be able to shake it free. It's going to come up. It's going to come out. And you're going to be able to ground it. And that's going to be it. If you are having issues, anxiety, just Jen, I don't know if I could do it. The herbal empath the Herbal Empath, Miss Layla. Okay, she is out here helping empaths, highly sensitive people, and just people who don't like the holidays because they don't like their relatives, just like all together. She is out here making videos, workbooks, worksheets, all of these things to help us get through this time of year. Beloved, I really want to put to you to take charge and responsibility for your own healing and heal your family.